Welcome to the ranch. Today, we are not really coming from the ranch. We are out and about living our best lives out in this beautiful country that God has given us. But we are in an Airbnb in a tiny home. And I wanted to do a review on it because I've thought about it before. Would I want to live in a tiny home? Tiny homes are becoming one of those very popular things to have. People talk about living off grid. They talk about living in a self-reliant or self-sufficient manner. And a lot of times it's really hard to do. And so when I asked myself the question, would I want to live in a tiny home? I couldn't really answer it because I've never actually been in one. But now, since we are going to rent one for a few days, I have decided to live in it and then give you a full review of my pros and cons. Would I or would I not want to live in a tiny home? Now, on the positive side, it's smaller, less maintenance, less wear and tear. On the negative side, just off the top, because it's smaller, you don't have all the things that you probably need in order to be self-sufficient and self-reliant. So, the first thing I want to do is I want to give you a tour around this beautiful cabin, this tiny home, so you can see just how tiny it truly is.
But first, let's hear from our sponsor.
Look, relationships are hard. They're not always the easiest thing out there, and I get it. Eric and I have been together for almost 30 years, and that means there's gonna be questions. Maybe you're like me and you found yourself questioning relationships with friends or family members. Maybe you've thought to yourself, why won't they call me back? Why do I feel like I'm always being ghosted? Or why are they not listening to me when I'm talking to them? Am I just talking at them, or are they hearing me? There's so many questions you're gonna ask yourself, and instead of being stuck in this endless loop of asking questions out into the great unknown, why not check out my sponsor, BetterHelp? BetterHelp can connect you to a therapist who can help you find answers to some of these tough questions. Instead of being stuck questioning yourself, you can talk through relationship concerns with someone who's trained to help you find real answers. First, you fill out a questionnaire online. You're gonna get matched with a therapist in as little as a couple days. You can easily switch therapists at any time if it's not the right fit for you. That's awesome, because I don't want to be with someone that doesn't work with me. They carefully make sure that the therapists on the platform are well qualified, and their customer support team is there to help if you have any questions. With over 7,000 reviews and a 4.5 rating on Trustpilot, BetterHelp is a platform that you can trust. Hey, going to therapy is a sign of strength, not weakness. There's all kinds of relationships that can be improved with therapy, and not just the romantical ones. So go ahead, click the link in the description box below, or go to betterhelp.com/Bland's Ranch for 10% off your first month of therapy. Now, let's get back to the video.
So I'm going to do the tour right from the beginning so that you can see everything that I saw. Now, the initial thought here is, hey, this is cute. It's quaint. I like the fact that this idea that we're in a cabin is kind of seen throughout the entire tiny home. And so I want to give you a quick loop around. And by the way, you'll see here that we have a couple people that are in this tiny home. All right. Can you stop crackling the newspaper, please? Jeez.
Sorry.
All right, you're
Trying to get to my page.
You're getting into it way too much. I handed off the camera so that I can give you a better perspective, size-wise, on what you're dealing with. So as you can see, when you come into the tiny home, you have the nice wood finishes. I really do like that. I think it makes it feel like you're in a cabin. And it's kind of throughout the entire cabin, so it gives you that good country feel. Now, if you slide in here, you are in the kitchen. And the upside to it is there's not much here. You got a little sink, you have a little oven, you have a little stovetop. It's all great and it's fine if you only have one or two people. We have 3 people here. Because we are part of a large family, I always think about how much can I put in the oven. Look here. This oven is rather small. Your dishes are not really going to work out in there. Cookie trays. You might be able to make some Christmas cookies in there, but at either rate, you have to take those things in consideration. Also, when you look at all of your cabinetry, this is it. This is all you get. Now, you could probably put some more shelves up, might be able to hang a few more things. I could probably get creative with that and maybe use this wall back here a little bit. But you can see that things need to be stacked up. Microwave oven, coffee pot, toaster. Those are the few things you have. The refrigerator is small. If you're going to have any kind of leftovers, or if you're going to need a freezer, this is definitely not going to work for you. And therefore, you would have to have more space. This is your storage area for silverware, and then some linens, trash bags, things like that. But again, you can kind of see that this is very minimal in space. Obviously, storage is not going to be the top of your priority list if you're in a tiny home, I guess, or maybe it is. But again, when you're looking at storage, do you have a storage unit, a rental unit that you use instead of having a larger house? Now, these ladders go upstairs, and we're not going to get into that just yet. I want to take you to the bathroom, not for any other reason other than to show you. Now, I'm 6'1", and I want to show you the challenges of a 6'1" guy in this bathroom. Before I show you all the challenges, I do want to point out the good things. It's always good to have some good compliments about things. So I would say overall, again, it has a nice feel to it because of the wood door. One thing that's super important is a restroom fan for obvious reasons that I won't get into right now. But again, space is limited. So this is your camera woman, first of all. Second of all, this is a storage area that you get, which is basically a couple shelves. And this isn't always the best. Now, again, I could probably add some shelves along the walls, but then you're just using all of your walls to hang stuff on. And if that's what you're looking for, that's okay too. Now, overall, the toilet is okay. I'm fine with that. What I really have a problem with is a shower. This is a super cool shower. I love this. The first time I saw this, I was really impressed with it. I like the fact that it kind of is a quarter circle and it rotates like that. It's super useful in maintaining maximum amount of space or minimum use of space, however you want to look at that. This is where the struggle comes in for me. Now, this is almost like one of those, the camera woman has to scoot way out. So hopefully you can still hear me from all the way out there. One of the things that's a struggle is this is like one of those money machines where, you get stuck in here and you got to try to capture all the money and throw it in your pockets. Well, it's not really comfortable in the sense that when you close this, if I'm going to wash my hair, it's hard to get my elbows up to do that. The other thing, I'll leave it open now. The other piece that is very difficult, I'll tell you and then I'll show you, is trying to wash my feet and trying to bend over because of the minimal amount of space. And let me demonstrate. This is it. This is all I'm going to be able to do. I can't really cross my leg to get it up, or else I'm pushing against the walls, and I don't like to do that. So I do want to show this head on the shower. I think is really cool. I think it's very creative. I've not seen one like this before, but it swivels in two locations, at the wall and then at the head. Coming out of the restroom, we are now greeted with the final room of this tiny home. And we're also greeted with Jonathan as he is checking out what, Jonathan?
Just looking at the market review right now.
Okay.
Check and see if the stocks are up,
All right, thank you. All right, so you can see Jonathan is roughly 5'10", and we can see
5'11".
You can see the size. You can see the size room that we have here. You can see that this couch became a third bed, which is comfortable to an extent. Now, before we get upstairs, I do want to show you this side. This is a side wall that has a mini split unit, which can save you a lot of money. They're very easy to install and not much labor, which is good. You have a couple sitting chairs and a little table. And you have a little TV. So if you're looking to game out or have a movie night, that is about the size TV that you're going to get. Now, in fairness, you could probably install something on this wall. So right next to where that third bed is, and yes, the third bed, not the second bed, because the first bed is right up there. So it's a pretty neat idea and use of space by having this ladder here. It's got little safety sandpaper strips on it so that you have little grippies. And let's go up here and see what we've got. All right, so this is the space that's up here. And Abigail is an average size young lady, height-wise that is.
I'm above average by 1 inch.
Okay, excuse me.
5'5".
So you can see, I'll take you to the roof here. So you can see that she actually is bumping. All right. So this is a queen size bed. I have some nice soft carpets and also soft throw rugs or whatever you want to call them. You also have receptacles up here, and you have to forgive us because we are doing work also while we are up here. And then right across the other side is Jonathan, now that he's taken a break from all of his stocks and bonds that he's been searching and researching. He's got relatively the same size bed, queen size, and the space is roughly the same. Now over there in that corner is all of the piping for the water, the vent, all that sort of stuff is over there. What do you think about tiny home?
I think it's very tiny. I don't love that I can't even sit up straight up here without bunking my head on the ceiling. I have to roll out of bed so that I don't hit my head because I hit it like 3 times yesterday. The shower's not very spacious, but I like the design of it. I think it's a cool design.
What's your overall thoughts about the tiny home?
It's pretty good. Easy to access. It's kind of cool, like coming up here and going to sleep. I don't know what she was complaining about, but I've had to roll off the bed. See, I don't even hit my head on it. I got some good room, and I'm taller than her. Obviously I got room for everything. Got my duffel bag. Got the essentials. Only downside I would say is probably just the shower, but everything else is kind of nice.
You had one final word that you wanted to add?
Yeah, if you're a sleepwalker, you probably shouldn't be sleeping up here because come straight out of bed and you're just falling straight down. Unless you know how to climb a ladder in your sleep, you're gone. So that's one thing to think about, you know?
That sounds pretty dangerous.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Jonathan?
Yeah.
Would you or would you not live in a tiny home?
No.
Permanently. Okay. Abigail, would you? Okay.
Not unless I had to.
All right, there you go. The question that I asked them, would they live in a tiny home permanently? It was a very quick no. Would I live in a tiny home? If I could place a tiny home anywhere I wanted to in the United States, would I live in a tiny home? And the answer is probably not. The only way that I would be willing to live in a tiny home is if I could be guaranteed to have a large shop or a large structure of some sort where I could have all my tools, all the things that I need. And a lot of times when you look at small houses or tiny homes, you're looking at trying to be very minimalistic with all the things that you have. And when you live on a farm, when you live okay, when you live on a farm or you're trying to be self-sufficient, you need space to be able to do the things you want to do. If we were trying to can in a kitchen like this, it would be very, very difficult. So those are some of the things you have to think about. These guys are already thinking about it, especially Jonathan. He's really working on some things back there. But I really appreciate you taking time to do this tour with me as we went through the tiny home. It is a beautiful, beautiful tiny home for Airbnb, but it is not a beautiful home that this farmer wants. Until next time, who likes regular sized homes? farmers do. And farmers' kids do too. We all like regular size homes.
Yeah.
Buy at your own risk. I gotta put this on the outtakes because I didn't think about this, but we got to get ready to wrap it up and roll out tomorrow morning. And he's getting ready to go take a shower, but she says, hold on, I got to go change first. And I didn't think about that. There ain't nowhere to change in a tiny home. There's literally one room for everybody to try to share to change. That ain't working. Jonathan, I'm literally looking at your wedgie.
Jonathan's gonna bump the face.
Is it okay?
I was just trying to get like your shirt up, pretty much.
Jonathan, what is your... You have like a quadruple chin right now. Okay.
So, I don't know how you want it.
Overall, come on.
Alright, good.
What's your overall thoughts about the tiny home? Okay.
It's Abigail.
Abigail, come on. Please.
It's Abigail.
I'm watching.
I want you to start in the bathroom and come running at me. Welcome to the ranch!
Please no.
Jonathan, she cannot pull you out, dude.
Hold on.
Abigail, you'll have to turn around if you can't behave.
Shut up, Abigail.
She's not saying anything.
She's staring at her head, and that's what's getting to me.
Okay, ready then?
Welcome to the ranch! Today, we are doing... Are we keeping that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what she was complaining. I just... Let me do that. Let me do that.
Hurry, get down here and get his ankles, Abigail. Hurry. Oh. Oh, that's all recorded. Okay.
That was a good talk, though.
Thank you.
Come on, lock in, dude.
Ask the question again in video.
It's time to play the game.
Time to play the game.
Go.
Time to play the game. You're recording.
Okay. Is everybody comfortable?